We're having an incredible season, an unbelievable NFL season. The Kansas City Chiefs are once again on the path to becoming champions, and I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't be. The Chiefs' performance this season has been nothing short of impressive. With stars like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, the team is playing at an extraordinary level, and every game they seem almost flawless. Their offensive power and game strategy are putting them ahead of nearly every team. Mahomes' passing ability, Kelce's way of dominating defenders, and the overall team cohesion make them the favorites for the championship. Additionally, the defense has been steadily strong, which is another key factor setting them apart from their rivals. With all this in place, there's almost no reason why they shouldn't be the champions this year. Today, we've got some exciting updates on the Kansas City Chiefs that you won't want to miss. In this video, we'll be diving into the main story of the day, the possibility of the Chiefs reacquiring Tyreek Hill at a reasonable price. But that's not all. We'll also be covering the latest on Andy Reid and what the Chiefs' plans look like for the offseason, so stick around because there's a lot to unpack here. Let's get started. First story, Chiefs could reacquire Tyreek Hill at a reasonable price. All right, let's dive into the first story, one that's been generating a lot of buzz lately. According to a recent report from Heavy.com, there's been some speculation about the Kansas City Chiefs potentially reacquiring Tyreek Hill from the Miami Dolphins. Yes, the same Tyreek Hill who was traded to the Dolphins in 2022 could make a return to Kansas City, and the price might not be as steep as you'd think. Let's break this down. The report suggests that the Dolphins might be open to trading Hill at a reasonable price, which has sparked a lot of discussion among fans and analysts. For those who might need a refresher, Tyreek Hill was a cornerstone of the Chiefs' offense during his time in Kansas City. His speed, explosiveness, and ability to make game-changing plays were instrumental in the team's success, including their Super Bowl 54 victory. Hill's unique skill set made him one of the most dangerous weapons in the NFL, and his connection with Patrick Mahomes was nothing short of electric. However, in 2022, the Chiefs made the difficult decision to trade Hill to the Dolphins in a blockbuster deal. At the time, the move was seen as a necessary step to manage the team's salary cap and secure future assets. The trade netted Kansas City a significant haul of draft picks, including a first-rounder and multiple mid-round selections, which they've used to build and strengthen their roster. Since joining Miami, Hill has continued to dominate, putting up incredible numbers and solidifying himself as one of the best wide receivers in the league. In fact, Hill has been so productive in Miami that he's consistently ranked among the league leaders in receiving yards and touchdowns. But now the idea of Hill returning to Kansas City is back on the table. The report from Heavy.com highlights that the Dolphins might be looking to free up cap space, and trading Hill could be a way to achieve that. Miami has been navigating some financial challenges, and moving Hill's contract, which carries a significant cap hit, could provide them with the flexibility they need to address other areas of their roster. For the Chiefs, bringing Hill back would be a massive boost to their receiving core, which has seen some changes in recent years. While players like Rashee Rice and Kadarius Toney have shown flashes of potential, the Chiefs' passing attack hasn't been quite the same since Hill's departure. The chemistry between Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill was undeniable during their time together. Hill's ability to stretch the field and create separation made him a perfect fit for Mahomes' playing style. Reuniting the two could take the Chiefs' offense to another level, especially as they look to remain one of the most dynamic teams in the NFL. Imagine Hill lining up alongside Travis Kelce and the rest of the Chiefs' weapons. It's a nightmare scenario for opposing defenses. Of course, there are a lot of factors to consider here. The financial implications of such a move would be significant. Hill is currently on a lucrative contract with the Dolphins, and the Chiefs would need to figure out how to make the numbers work. Kansas City has been careful with their cap space in recent years, and taking on Hill's contract would require some creative maneuvering. Additionally, the Chiefs would have to decide what they're willing to give up in a trade, draft picks, players. It's a complex situation that would require careful negotiation. Another factor to consider is Hill's age and long-term value. While he's still playing at an elite level, Hill is now in his 30s, and the Chiefs would need to weigh the benefits of acquiring him against the potential risks. Would Hill be a short-term solution, or could he continue to perform at a high level for several more years? These are the kinds of questions the Chiefs front office would need to answer before making a move. While this is all still speculation at this point, it's an intriguing possibility. The idea of Tyreek Hill returning to Kansas City is enough to get any Chiefs fan excited. But what do you think? Should the Chiefs make a move to bring Hill back, or should they focus on developing their current roster? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of the Chiefs roster, that leads us perfectly into our next story. Stick around, because we've got the latest on Andy Reid and what's been going on with the legendary head coach. Andy Reid, the latest updates on Coach Reid. The latest updates on Coach Reid have been making headlines, and there's a lot to discuss. First off, let's acknowledge the incredible job Reid has done with the Chiefs since joining the team in 2013. He's transformed the franchise into one of the most dominant forces in the NFL, with multiple Super Bowl appearances and 2 championships under his belt. Reid's legacy is already cemented, but what's next for the veteran coach? Recently, there's been some chatter about Reid's future with the team. At 66 years old, Reid is one of the oldest head coaches in the league, and questions about how much longer he'll continue coaching are inevitable. However, Reid has shown no signs of slowing down. In fact, he's been as involved and passionate as ever, constantly working to improve the team and stay ahead of the competition. One of the most interesting developments is Reid's approach to the evolving landscape of the NFL. Known for his innovative offensive schemes, Reid has continued to adapt his strategies to keep the Chiefs' offense among the best in the league. This offseason, he's reportedly been focusing on refining the team's playbook and exploring new ways to maximize the talents of players like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But it's not just about X's and O's. Reid has also been praised for his leadership and ability to connect with his players. His calm demeanor and steady hand have been crucial in navigating the ups and downs of the NFL season. This has been especially important as the Chiefs look to maintain their status as perennial contenders. Of course, no discussion about Andy Reid would be complete without mentioning his impact on the broader NFL community. Reid is widely respected by his peers and has mentored numerous coaches who have gone on to have successful careers of their own. His influence on the game is undeniable, and his contributions to the sport will be remembered for generations to come. So while there may be questions about how much longer Reid will coach, one thing is clear: as long as he's on the sidelines, the Chiefs will be in good hands. Kansas City Chiefs plans for the offseason. All right, let's wrap things up with a look at what the Kansas City Chiefs have planned for the offseason. And after another strong season, the Chiefs are once again in a position to make some strategic moves to keep their championship window wide open. And the offseason is a critical time for any NFL team, but for a franchise like the Chiefs, who are perennial contenders, every decision carries extra weight. Let's break down what's on the agenda for Kansas City as they prepare for the 2024 season. One of the biggest priorities for the Chiefs this offseason is addressing their roster needs. While the team is stacked with talent, there are always areas that can be improved. One area that's been a focus is the wide receiver position. As we mentioned earlier, the possibility of reacquiring Tyreek Hill has been a hot topic. But even if that doesn't happen, the Chiefs are expected to explore other options to bolster their receiving core. Patrick Mahomes is the kind of quarterback who can elevate any receiver, but giving him more weapons is always a good idea. Players like Rashee Rice and Kadarius Toney have shown promise, but adding a proven playmaker, whether through free agency, a trade, or the draft, could take the offense to another level. Another key area of focus is the offensive line. Protecting Patrick Mahomes is always a top priority, and the Chiefs are likely to look for ways to strengthen their line, whether through the draft or free agency. The offensive line is the backbone of any successful team, and while the Chiefs have done a solid job in this area, there's always room for improvement. Adding depth and talent to the line would not only keep Mahomes upright, but also open up more opportunities for the running game, which has been inconsistent at times. On the defensive side of the ball, the Chiefs could use some depth, particularly in the secondary and pass rush. The defense has been a strength for Kansas City in recent years, but injuries and fatigue can take a toll over the course of a long season. Adding a dynamic edge rusher or a lockdown cornerback could make a huge difference, especially in high-stakes games. Speaking of the draft, it will play a crucial role in the Chiefs' offseason plans. With a solid core of players already in place, the team has the luxury of targeting specific needs and adding young talent to develop for the future. General Manager Brett Veach has a proven track record of making smart draft picks, and fans will be eager to see who the Chiefs select this year. Whether it's a speedy wide receiver, a versatile offensive lineman, or a defensive playmaker, the draft is an opportunity to build for both the present and the future. Of course, the offseason isn't just about player acquisitions. It's also a time for the coaching staff to evaluate what worked and what didn't during the previous season. Andy Reid and his team will be analyzing film, tweaking schemes, and preparing for the challenges that lie ahead. Reid is known for his innovative offensive mind, and you can bet he'll be looking for ways to keep the Chiefs' offense one step ahead of the competition. Additionally, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo will be working on ways to maintain the unit's high level of play. One thing's for sure, the Chiefs are committed to staying at the top of the NFL hierarchy. With a strong foundation in place and a clear vision for the future, the team is well positioned to continue their success. The combination of elite talent, smart coaching, and a front office that knows how to build a winning roster makes the Chiefs a force to be reckoned with year after year. So what do you think the Chiefs should prioritize this offseason? Are there any specific players or positions you'd like to see them target? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today's video, folks. We've covered a lot of ground, from the possibility of Tyreek Hill returning to the Chiefs to the latest on Andy Reid and the team's plans for the offseason. The Kansas City Chiefs do have a lot going for them against the Buffalo Bills, and you've outlined several key advantages. Let's break them down. Quarterback advantage, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen. Mahomes holds a significant edge in the postseason with a 3-0 record against the Bills, including the legendary 2021 playoff game where he tied the game in 13 seconds and led the Chiefs to victory in overtime. Mahomes' postseason stats are outstanding, with 918 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and no interceptions in 3 playoff games against Buffalo, while Allen's regular season success, for one, hasn't translated to the playoffs. Coaching advantage, Andy Reid versus Sean McDermott. Andy Reid's experience and success in the postseason, particularly with 7 consecutive AFC championship appearances, is unmatched. His ability to adapt in high-pressure moments and his familiarity with the Bills' style gives the Chiefs an advantage. McDermott has done a great job with Buffalo, but Reid's coaching pedigree is undeniable. DeAndre Hopkins' impact, while Hopkins has only had limited impact in his regular season matchups with Buffalo, his big play ability could become crucial in this game. As a 5-time Pro Bowler, he's motivated and hungry for a Super Bowl, and his skill set offers the Chiefs another weapon to complement Mahomes. The Bills may struggle to contain him if he's involved more in the game plan. Defensive edge, Chiefs versus Bills. The Chiefs' defense is often overlooked, but it's been playing at a high level. While the Bills have had a strong defense in past years, the Chiefs' defense is now more formidable and harder to exploit. With players like Chris Jones, they have a terrifying pass rush and a solid secondary. In conclusion, the Chiefs have several advantages, from their quarterback and coaching staff to their defense. While the Bills are a talented team, the Chiefs' experience in big moments and their overall strength across the board position them as the favorites in this matchup. What do you think? Do you agree with this assessment, or do you see any other factors that might swing the game? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next update.